Welcome to the Investing Podcast presented by Tusk Media. The final bell has rung and the market is now closed. So let's move on to an audio and video recap with the Investing Happy Hour.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Investing Podcast. This is a very special live edition. For those joining us on Periscope, this is take number 2. Sorry for those listening or watching at home. Sometimes we have to start over. In my defense, it was not my fault. We had a new guy walk in and door squeaked, totally threw me off my game. I'm a professional. I can't deal with distractions. This is a rehearsed speech that I'm giving here, and if he interrupts it, everything falls apart. But we're glad you're here. If you're watching live, make sure you download the episode still because we need you to do that. You can also delete it. If you listen to it on your computer, go ahead and hit delete, then re-download it on your phone. That way we get 2 downloads from you. You guys aren't just a number to us. We're hoping that you'll be 2 numbers to us. That's kind of the goal here. So hit subscribe, download, delete. We greatly appreciate it. We got a fun broadcast. We got a large studio audience. I'd argue the largest studio audience, so you guys make some noise. Woo! Right. Joke's on y'all. Nobody could hear that because the microphone's right here. But we're glad you're here. We've got 5 people here, that's a lot of people. There was a time where we didn't have 5 people that even worked at Narwhal. So we've actually got 4 people here, and a buddy, a friend of the program, the producer of our intro song is here. So glad to have him here. Check out Moyer Official on Twitter. Listen to his music. He's really awesome. Let's jump in. Fun episode today. Biggest thing we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the market, and we're going to go back to what we called premature prognostication, the predictions we made at the beginning of this month. We're going to have a good time with it. So market, couple data points real quick. Another solid day, 3rd day in a row where we've had some rebounding. Dow was up 133 basis points. S&P up 1.36%, NASDAQ up 1.33%, global Dow up more than 1%, gold, as you might expect, was down, oil was also down. That's all we're going to talk about for the daily recap here. So if you got teased in by that Twitter link that talked about the thorough daily recap, joke's on you, we're actually going to talk about the monthly recap now. Switching gears dramatically, we're going to have to get a new piece of chalk for this because we gotta dig in a little bit. So if you go back, go to YouTube. We have all our video archives. This is the easiest way to find it. Go to YouTube, search Tusk Media. Go to June 1st, 2016. This was our very second day, not our very first, our very second day of doing this whole podcast thing, trying it out, doing the videos, all that. I was standing in front of a really shiny whiteboard. We didn't have these lights. We didn't have any of this stuff going on. We were children in the podcast world, but we had a good time. We sat down, we made some predictions on what would happen, and we basically played a game of over-unders. Now, if you're a gambling man like myself, you know exactly what that means. If you're not, you know that over-under basically means a number is laid out as a betting proposition, and you make a decision as to whether you think it'll be an over or an under. So if you're watching a football game, maybe the over-under is 45.5 points. If you bet the over, you think more than 45.5 points will be scored. We did over-unders on the market indices, as well as oil at the beginning of the month, and what we used was the closing point of these indices from May, so the May 31st data. So we took a look at the S&P 500, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the oil price on the spot per barrel. And for oil, we just used the round number of $50 just because it was easy and it was kind of a benchmark that we've been keeping an eye on. So we looked at the S&P 500. It closed at 2,096.96. Last month, I said I thought it would be up by just a little bit. Guess what, people? The Nostradamus of Narwhal lives on, 1 for 1. It was up just a little bit. Magic of microphones. I can move around. You can still hear me. It was at 2,098.86. So it closed up a little bit. Dow, same story. I said it would be up a little bit. I'm awesome. Nailed it. Right there. That was actually a pretty dramatic rally right there. These things all looked completely lost even heading into today. But I also made the prediction. It should be noted that I would be wrong about everything. So I've missed that prediction. I've gotten 2 right. I also said that I thought the NASDAQ would lag for the month. Guess what? Right again. I thought the NASDAQ would lag a little bit just because it had a really, really strong month in May. And we've seen a lot of dispersion within the major indices this year. So we saw that. It fell just a little bit. So 3 for 3. Nobody's perfect. If I was perfect, we'd just stop the podcast at this point. We wouldn't do another episode. So kind of keeps me hungry. Will keep me coming back tomorrow morning. We're going to do this exact same exercise, but we're going to use these columns because I missed on oil. Oil was actually down about $1.60 from that $50 mark. I thought it would be up. So Missed that one, but all in all, kind of a wild month. Lots of big headlines. We had the B word, which we don't talk about anymore on the podcast because we're over it. Obviously, lots of discussions about interest rates, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to have a good summer. We're excited to be moving into July. We're going to be back tomorrow morning with the early morning thing, whatever we call it. I think it's the morning market mimosa still. I didn't do one day this week, and now I'm just totally forgetting what it is. We're also going to do a stock market power lunch. Bond week marches on. To be honest with you, that's why I'm so fried. We've done 4 bond podcasts. The 4th one is actually coming up in about an hour and 50 minutes. So watch that clock. Keep an eye on it, especially Periscope people. If you're watching this on recording, it's probably going to be like an hour and 20 minutes from now. But it's coming up in just a little bit. You're going to really enjoy it. Myself and Matt Burton sat down, and he told tales of municipal bonds. It's every bit as thrilling as it sounds. You guys are really going to love it. Great bedtime stories, put you right to sleep. Tomorrow, Q&A, big time bond week Q&A. Myself, Benjamin Nye, new analyst here, Sam Frost, new analyst here. We're going to sit down and answer some of the listener questions about bonds, and we've got some really good ones and some really awful ones, but we're going to answer them all anyway because we really didn't get that much feedback from y'all. I guess that's a blessing and a curse, but we do appreciate you guys. We've been hitting like 1,500 downloads a day, every day this week. So our war against Shark Week, we know for a fact that they're losing like 1,500 viewers every day because you can't listen to a podcast and watch TV at the same time. It just doesn't work. So thanks for that. The war on discovery wages on. We will see y'all tomorrow morning. Have a great night.
Tusk Media is a subsidiary of Narwhal Capital Management. Ratings and reviews of Tusk Media content are not to be construed as endorsements of opinions, analysis, or services offered by Tusk or its parent company. The opinions and predictions shared here are our professional beliefs at the time of publication. We are not under duress from any of the corporate entities mentioned. This is not a solicitation to take any particular action. Although we are investment advisors, this information should not be considered investment, legal, or tax advice. We strive to be as impartial, insightful, and accurate as possible. We base our opinions, analysis, and calculations on information we believe to be reliable, but we cannot guarantee its accuracy. We can, however, guarantee that our opinions will sometimes be flat out wrong due to a variety of factors. Employees and clients of Narwhal Capital Management may or may not hold positions in the securities detailed and may or may not hold these positions in the future. A full list of all securities purchased, sold, or held during the 12 months preceding the date of this publication can be provided upon request. Unless otherwise noted, all data accessed via MarketWatch or the Bloomberg terminal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. A copy of Narwhal's Form ADV is available at the SEC's website, www.advisorinfo.sec.gov, or from Narwhal upon written request.